Yeah guys, what is going on, and welcome back to another episode of the Football Manager Save. It's episode number 16, and today we're returning with the new season as we take on newly promoted Swansea in the opener of the third campaign. Before we get to the game though, I'm going to share our pre-season went, and of course, the much loved transfer special as well. Let's get to that first. Actually, come to think of it, can I even call this a transfer special? Because I'll be totally honest here, this was a very underwhelming summer window. Just honestly, there just weren't really many good deals available, and keeping the finances in check is very important at this stage of the save, so don't get too excited because it really wasn't the most dramatic of windows. But as always, we'll start with departures. As you can see, a few players leaving this season on freeze, including the likes of Michael Hector, who of course has been here since the very beginning of this save, a youngster in Fabio Carvalho as well. Steven Sessegnon, brother of Ryan, you might notice I sold him to Derby for 2.5 mil. I don't know whether it's just me, but in this year's FM, for some reason, even using mentoring groups, determination just doesn't seem to go up. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong this year, but for some reason I just can't raise determination. That is just too low for me. So I sold him to die for 2.5 mil. No sell-on clause or anything. I was just totally fine letting the guy go. He's in the final year of his contract. I also loaned out Lewis Ferguson to Cincinnati just like last year. For some reason, I've got to go back a season to show you a couple of other departures as well, such as Radek Mpanzu, who's gone to DC United for the rest of the year as well. Getting a lot of loan offers from American clubs this FM. And also we also lost our best youth prospect out of the academy as well. Do you remember back in season 1, I showed you this guy, Yohan Jones? He looks really, really good. Unfortunately, the Foxes offered him a contract. He was on a youth deal. He didn't want to extend here, and he jumped ship to the King Power. We got 800k compensation, but even so, I was gutted to lose him because I absolutely love the stats he's got. And as to departures, nothing too noteworthy really, and that was the key for me, keeping the core of the squad here. We've done that. And as to the incomings, again, don't get too excited, but, a couple of players that do look pretty decent. So first up, a loan deal. I'm not even going to try and kid myself here. I don't really know anything about this guy. Mario Gila, on loan from Real Madrid. We're only paying a small monthly fee, plus his wage, which is 8.25 grand a week. So not much money really. He has a minimum fee release clause of 7.5 mil. I think I could have had his mandatory fee in the loan if he played a certain amount of games, but I don't think I included it. So yeah, he looks okay for a 21-year-old, and the potential could be pretty decent as well. But again, behind Tyrone Mings, Jerome and Tosin, he's probably not going to get much game time. But in for cover, with some decent mental stats, technicals and physicals, just 21 years old and a cheap contract as well. Not a bad signing for cover. Alright, next up, possibly the guy that I'm most excited about of the four, but he might end up turning into a complete bust. I signed this guy from Middlesbrough, right? Now I thought, you know what, I need a new gen / regen that might get a bit of game time this season, because that's what's lacking from the save, I feel, at the moment. The new gens or regens are what make the save great. I haven't really got any so far, and I was going to give Jones some game time this year, but he fucked off to Leicester. But I signed this guy from the Borough, right? 2.5 mil. His name is Willem Lundemo. He's a Swedish striker, and I just thought, modelled after Zlatan Ibrahimovic, maybe. 6'6". Shocking strength. When you're that tall, you got to beef up a bit, son. But 19 determination, which I absolutely love. 12 off the ball ain't bad for a 16-year-old. And already, to be fair, 14 finishing with 15 first touch. Heading will need to improve at 6'6" again. That should be really his main asset. But to be fair, with a driven personality, I don't know why. I just saw him when I was doing some manual scouting, and I was thinking, the upside to this guy could be really, really high. So I put the 2.5 mil bid in. There's no sell-on clause or anything like that. But he looks alright, to be fair. And he's someone I might just give some game time this year to. Because again, I just want like a new gen or a regen to do something this season in our third year. Again, could be alright. Long way to go. But there are a couple of little things here that make me think possibly, just possibly, he could turn into a decent player. And I know what you're thinking. Where are the really exciting players? I'm sorry guys, but this season there isn't really anyone. It was just such a difficult transfer window because there was no good deals available like last year. So the third of the 4 signings I'll show you is a backup fullback. Kyle Walker-Peters, obviously you'd know him very, very well. Spent all his time playing in England, came through the Spurs Academy, went to Southampton after a successful loan spell. Moved on to Wolves in the game for 14 mil, and after just one season at Molineux, they decided to sell him on a loss for £8 million. So to be fair, it's a pretty decent deal as well. Clauses, I think he plays 50 league games, it'll be an extra million. That might get hit, it might not, but to be fair, KWP has always been known as the guy that can play both right back and left back, so nice little versatility on the Spurs Academy graduate. And he's got some decent stats as well, physically great fitness and stamina, which is so crucial on a fullback. I actually thought his pace would be a little bit higher, but obviously not. Mentally, not too bad either. 15 determination, 15 teamwork, and 16 work rate. A holy trio, all above 15, so I'm happy with that. And technically as well, 13 crossing, 12 dribbling, and 13 technique with 14 first touch. They're not bad when going forward, and with 14 tackling and 13 positioning, he's not too bad defensively as well. I don't think he'll take over from Connor Roberts as our starting right back, but to give him competition and also be backup left back for Anthony Robinson as well, for 9 million, or well, 8 to possibly 9 million, and on 34 grand a week, 4-year deal, it's not a bad signing. And again, just like last year, good value for money deals were the key for me with Fulham this season, and this is another good one. And the fourth and final signing of the transfer kind of special was from a relegated side. I said when Leeds and Newcastle and Cardiff went down, I'm sure I'd bring in one player at least from one of those three clubs. In the end, I decided to raid Leeds United and pick up a new striker. And now I said that, you know who he is. So welcome to Craven Cottage, Patrick Bamford. Now, I'm really not sure about this. This is a bit of an interesting one. Now, we signed him from Leeds for 14 mil even, so 14 million pounds from Leeds United. And Bamford, of course, he had some loan spells, particularly at MK Dons and Derby, and then the Borough as well, a great goal-to-game ratio in his early career. And I thought the guy was just going to kick on and become a really good Premier League striker for a, top half of the table sort of team. But after joining the Borough on a permanent deal, he's kind of calmed down a little bit, and in the game, he's not done especially well. In the first season with Leeds, 9 goals in 32 with 5 assists. That's not too bad. That's just under 1 in every 3. And last season, 5 in 22, though half the games did come from the bench. It's not terrible. Again, that's just under 1 in 4. But it's not the most clinical of records. And for 14 million, and again, the contract he's on, 40 grand a week, is it a good deal, or is it just bang average, just like his stats? Well, I'd probably say the latter, really. Now, physically, the guy's alright, 17 stamina is really good, but nothing really jumps out at you physically. Again, mentally, okay in some areas, but the 10 composure is a real letdown, and maybe that's why he's not been as clinical in front of goal. But again, the Holy Trio is good, 15 determination, 16 teamwork with 18 work rate, so I love that. But technically, again, 15 finishing, 14 first touch, 13 technique. I mean, he's all right. He's all right. When you look at the signings we made here, the two main ones, they're both all right, but nothing really to shout about and get too excited about. So, yeah, it's kind of like a bit of an interesting window. I'm relatively happy with the business we've done, but it was such a quiet summer transfer window. I mean, it really was because there was such little available for me. There was so poor and so few deals available. And in the end, I missed out on my main target as well, because I talked about him last season. He was on loan with us from Manchester United. I put a bid in because the Red Devils put him on a transfer list for £10 million. I put the bid in, it got accepted, we negotiated a contract, and he said, "Fuck you, Docs, I'm off to Germany." And he went to Frankfurt, and I was like, bro. Seriously, you had a great season with us. Well, you had an okay season with us last year, and you thought, I ain't coming back here, I'm going to Germany instead. So, missed out on my main target. And in the end, it was just a bit of an anticlimactic window, really. In the end, we spent around 24 to 25 million pounds in total, you'd probably say, because again, I don't know why this is happening this year. This never happened in previous versions of FM, but for some reason, transfers are getting shown in the past season if they go through before the official start date of the new season. That's really frustrating. FM, why have you done that, man? You never used to do that before. It's really frustrating. But anyway, that's what happened in the window. It wasn't too exciting, but I guess the most important thing for me is I talked about in the season finale in the last episode. We had a transfer budget that was bigger than our bank balance, and I didn't want to make the same mistakes as last year and spend more than we had and go into the red. So the fact we still got just under 25 million remaining in our bank balance is really, really decent. So in the end, yes, nothing to get too excited about, but a wage bill has only taken a minor increase as well. It's still under 900k a week, so it's way better than it used to be. At the moment, I guess it's all about good value for money deals, and that's not very exciting, but we're building long term here. It takes time. So there's actually not too much to show you before we dive into the first game of the new season here. One thing I will show you real briefly is I did ask for the board to improve our training facilities, which they granted my request, so that will be completed in November, so I'm happy with that. That'll take them up to, I think it's excellent training facilities. Yeah, I think so. So there you go. And again, there's not really that much else to show you, really, because there's no World Cup in the summer, because as we know, it's going to be played in the winter, so that'll be happening in November. That's going to really disrupt our season, unfortunately. The scheduling this year is going to be absolutely manic, but yeah, the World Cup groups for Qatar have been drawn, and yeah, there you go. So not really too much else to show you. If I look at the competition expectations for this year as well, as you can see, once again, the board have been very, very kind to me. They just say avoid relegation. Avoid relegation, and that's more than good enough for them. And after last season finishing in 10th place, I feel confident we'll be able to do that. If you take a look at the media's preview for the new season, as you can see, now we're not regarded as a bottom three team. Swansea, Bristol City and Aston Villa, the teams got promoted, by the way. Aston Villa win the title, Swansea runners up, and Bristol City via the playoffs. But yeah, we're not regarded as a bottom three team anymore. And to be honest, I said it last year, the media, they undervalue your team in FM quite a bit. So really, again, I think here to here, again, maybe here, maybe even here, but you know, the bottom three, I think, is definitely something we should be able to avoid this season. Other than that, again, not really too much else to show you. Pre-season, as you can see, was quite a bizarre one. I mean, we had a tour of America and we just tanked it for some reason. We went on holiday, just didn't bother playing. Lost both the games in the cup, the pre-season cup we played, but at least you won the testosterone flowing games. Don't think I've ever lost a testosterone flowing game or even conceded a goal in one. But anyway, this is a brief look at the scheduling for this year, by the way. As you can see, we're going to be going away in November, so midway through November or early to mid-November we'll go away and we'll return on Boxing Day. So all of November and basically all of December will be missing due to the World Cup in 2022. Other than that, again, not much else to show you. One brief thing I will show you is there has been a change in the captaincy this year. I decided to give it to Zambo. I talked about it last season and even in season 1 as well. Kenny, to me, I don't know why, even though he's been here for such a long time and obviously, he doesn't have bad stats at all. I feel like he's been relatively underwhelming since the save began. So I thought, you know what, he's 31 years old now. It's time for some younger blood to lead the team. And I decided to give it to Zambo, who is still a team leader. Mitrovic lost the vice captaincy. That's why he's dropped down to highly influential. But Zambo, as you can see, the best part of the summer for me was not a new signing, but signing this guy's contract extension. Yeah, he signed a new 5-year deal up to 2027. Only a $3,000 a week pay increase as well to $70,000 a week. There is a minimum fee release clause to foreign clubs of 80 mil, but to be honest here, if someone wants to meet that clause, that I love Zambo, but I'd love £80 million a lot more, so I don't mind that clause whatsoever. But Zambo takes over as captain. I said it'll probably happen at some point, and it has. So after a very quiet transfer window, we're just going to dive straight into the season opener, I believe. Real briefly, I'll show you the squad depth here. You asked the question, has the team gotten better? Has it gotten worse? It's about the same, really. I mean, it's about the same, isn't it, to be honest? Not much change at all, really. And I was gutted as well because there were so little free transfers available. You know, every single season in FM, you take about 12 players on trial for 4 weeks. Normally, those that are like 36, 37 years old, your likes of like your Marcellos or your Karim Benzema's or whatever. The only player that I was gutted to miss out on in pre-season that was available on the free, oh, the sexy Argentine, the Docks legend, Paolo Gazzaniga, absolutely gutted. I took him on trial after getting released by Spurs, and in the end, he opted for Porto over Fulham. I mean, you can't really blame him, to be fair, but I was gutted, man, absolutely gutted. Offered him a contract, he accepted it. I thought, yes, I got my backup goalkeeper. He went to Porto instead. So yeah, there hasn't really been any free agents available. In fact, the only other good one, which I had on trial for a brief period of time, was James Milner, released by Liverpool. And you know, with the guy's mental stats, I was going to really, really enjoy having him in my team, but unfortunately, he wanted like 90 grand a week. He's 36 years old and he wanted to be a star player. Otherwise, he wanted to take a non-playing role and just go as a backroom staff member. Where's he going? Spain, fair enough. But I wasn't going to pay 90 grand a week for Milner. Regardless of the amazing mental stats, he's not worth that at this stage of his career. So yeah, really disappointed with the lack of options available in the summer window. I guess the only other player I possibly could have got was Callum Clutch Wilson. But unfortunately, the Magpies wanted 32 million for him. And again, I've talked about this before, but in FM, it seems like, you know, the AI clubs will hold you to ransom over their average players. Yet for your star wonder kids, they think £15 million and a packet of Skittles is enough for them. You know, it's crazy. But anyway, heading into the first game of the season is indeed newly promoted Swansea. As you can see, Connor Roberts won't play against his former team due to injury. Knockout is coming back from a slight knock. We had quite a few knocks in pre-season, actually, but everyone else is fit. We'll go with the the 4-2-3-1 and not the gegenpress, and this will be our lineup. So Ryanak retains his place in goal. Back for is Robinson, Tosin, Jerome and Kyle Walker. Peters with Lamina and Zam through the middle. Caballero on the left, Knockout on the right, and Kenny supporting Bobby Reid. We've had a very similar lineup since season 1, haven't we? On the bench, Ashby, Hammond, Mings, Bryan, Reid, Cook, Bamford and Mitrovic as well. First and only game, season opener, newly promoted Swansea. Let's make it 3 opening day victories in a row. Come on, Fulham. I think, again, the one thing I would say is that this is a really, really long-term project. You know, 3rd season in, I'd absolutely love it if we were breaking into the top 7. But listen, I don't even think we'll break into the top 10 again. You know, last year we did so well doing that as Kearney almost gave us a really early lead 8 minutes in, heading out Zambo free kick off the bar. But yeah, I think personally, you know, again, so long as you just keep on staying around mid-table here, this is fine for me. Again, we're raising the club's bank balance up gradually. We're not making rash decisions and going gung-ho, spending all our money on one star player who we think might drag us into the Europa League single-handedly. No, it's all about staying patient and taking our time. And goodness gracious me, that is just a pub football goal to concede. My God, that is route 1 and then some. Jeez. Well, it's very rare you'll see a goalkeeper assist from a drop kick, but that's really poor. I know you play a high defensive line, but come on. Jerome, Tosin, one of you's got to take charge there. That is a really, really poor goal to concede. That just shouldn't happen in the Premier League, man, or even in the Football League, for goodness sake. That is non-league football to a T. Down by a goal, newly promoted Swansea taking the lead. And this is poor. Come on, lads. Come on, here we go. Bobby Reid intercepts. Got to do it all himself, though. But we know the guy's capable of doing that, and that's straight at the goalkeeper, and it's still 1-0. Can't believe that we won the season 1 opening day against Newcastle away, and I thought we'd get battered. Last year, I think it was Leicester on the opening day. I thought we'd had no chance of winning that one, and now newly promoted Swansea at home, and we're down by a goal. I think we played better. I think we look pretty decent out there, but got to take a chance. And I said this year, you know, could Bobby Reid do it for a 3rd straight year? Not too sure. Bamford sat on the bench saying, come on, bro. Spent 14 mil on me. Bring me on for the second half. Caballero, slip ball through to Bobby Reid. Down left-hand side. Takes it wide. Beats Sutak. And he crossed Kearney. Oh, lost the captain's armband. Chip on his shoulder. That's what will make him play better. Trust me. Kearney, 1-1. Do you know what was funny is when I took the captain's armband off me, he came for a player conversation, a little brief player chat. Oh, Sutar, sit down, son. And he literally said, I'm disappointed you took the captain's armband off me and I want to know why or something like that. And I just said, I think there are better options in this team. And he said, fair enough. I love that, the humility. Yeah, fair enough. There's other players in this team that are better than me. Anyway, 1-1, Kearney with the goal. He's been so underwhelming the past 2 years. Maybe this is what he needed, kick up the backside. Hands on hips. Hands on hips. You've been unlucky so far. Because to be fair, we've been a better team here. Been a far better team. Swansea only scored through that route 1 goal. If we keep doing what we're doing, oh, for God's sake. 48 minutes into his debut and he's got a bloody injury. I don't want to draw. I don't want to draw on the opening day, man. I want to make it 3 straight opening day victories. That's the confidence I want going forward. And again, because of that World Cup coming in November as well. We'll miss basically all of November and most of December too. It's going to really mess with our scheduling. So if we can get off to a good start, I'll feel a lot more confident. What concerns me most about this season is not the lack of improvement in our team, if you will, but that World Cup coming in November and in December as well. We won't have many absentees for it, don't get me wrong, but it'll totally mess with our rhythm. And obviously last year, you saw what happened with the African Cup of Nations as Swansea go down to 10 men. So what we're going to do right now is up the tempo a little bit more and play with a bit more urgency and go attacking as well. But yeah, the African Cup of Nations last year, that's one of the reasons why we struggled so much during mid-season, because we just totally lost our rhythm and had many players away for it as well. So the World Cup mid-season, that's the biggest concern for me this year. We always seem to struggle mid-season too, so it's a bit of a bad combination. Anyway, just over half an hour to go, just under half an hour to go. Get ourselves a second goal, and I won't be able to see Swansea getting back from that. Reid crosses, Knockout, flashes wide. Come on, they're down to 10 men, just under 10 minutes to go. This will be a massive missed opportunity, even on match day 1, if we fail to find a winner. Harrison, back to Lamina, looking for an opening here. Robinson's in acres of space out wide as Zambo can find him. He can't. Lamina finds Kearney. There's Anthony. Loads of space. Quick through ball. Caballero. Got to bury that. Come on. Just one late chance. Going to go for it now. Might as well push Robinson and Reid up because Swansea are so defensive. They're not going to come out at all. Be a bit more direct in our play. Play as high as we can. Be more expressive. Distribute the ball quickly. Counter as well. See if we just get one late chance in the final few seconds. They're down to 9 men. Are they just gone down to 9 men? Oh my, if we don't find a winner in the next few minutes, this is poor from us here. Come on, 6 minutes of stoppage time. Free kick. Oh, it's headed away. And Jerome tracks it down. Come on. 4 minutes of stoppage time. Reed out wide to Harrison Reed. Tackle, that's fair. Picks it back up. Come on, Reed. Oh, Bamford on his debut. How did he put that so wide? He was about 6 yards from goal. Oh, that's poor. That's poor. That's really poor, man. And that sums up the transfer window as well. 1-1 at home to newly promoted Swansea, who went down to 9 men in the second half. That's poor. That's really, really poor. Well, I tell you what, like I said, it's a marathon, not a sprint, so we're taking our time, but I can still be frustrated when we don't win those sort of games there. That should have been 3 points in the bag, no problem. That is so disappointing. So I'm just thinking here, we got, again, 26 mil in the budget, and do I spend it on someone? Because, again, there are just so few deals that are available. I love the filters I've got up here. But do we spend it on someone and just hope that we can find a decent forward to get us the goals? Because again, for the most part, really, the players that are available on decent deals are in defensive positions that aren't really an area that we need to have concern over. Callum Wilson is the one I was thinking, but you spend 32 million, which is what I was down to 29, but 29 million on Callum Wilson. I think the board will give me the extra few mil, but is Callum Wilson going to bang in the goals this season to keep us in the top 10? I'm not entirely sure. But do we just play it safe and just keep making very, very, very gradual progression? I don't know. We'll have to think about it. But that was this episode of the FM Save, guys. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, if you had, please do drop a like. Much love to you all. Have a fantastic day, and we'll return with games against, quite like the trio here in September, Arsenal over to Man City. I'm not entirely sure, actually. I'll think about it. Maybe come back with Man City away and Aston Villa at home. I'm not sure. I'll have a think. Have a great day, guys. Much love to you all, and I'll see you for the next episode of the FM Save very soon.